Hi, welcome back to the MRTV headquarters for a very special live stream. I'm here with SweViver and Josh from Pimax. Woohoo! How are you doing? SweViver, it's so great, to be back with you.
Thank
on
you.
good terms.
Thanks.
High five.
So nice to be here. Thank you for inviting us. Really,
Of course.
It's been a busy week. How about you, Josh?
It's been incredibly busy. We've had a lot on our plate so far and a lot coming up on it.
Yeah, so lots of people are looking forward to hear from you guys about the new devices that you brought here. So this is part of the Pimax Roadshow, and they have asked MRTV if I would be a host of one of these stops. You guys have been to Berlin, right, on your first stop, and now you're here in Dortmund, and then afterwards you're going to go to Holland, right?
We go to Gouda tomorrow
To Gouda,
for the VR Space event starting on Saturday until Sunday, it's 2 days.
All right.
And then it's Rotterdam with VR days.
Okay,
So then we may have a few more stops in France. We'll see. It's still in this planning stage.
Still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's so cool to speak with you, obviously, and
Thanks,
to get
man.
to know you, Josh. Like, I know lots of people really want to get to know you more. Like, they're fascinated by your presentations, right?
The start of the
start
of the Pimax show.
Like everyone who came in here today and yesterday, they were like, "Oh, this is the guy from the Pimax video, right?" So yes, it's him, and you get to meet him today. And
Seriously, there's people on the streets like, "Oh, it's Josh! It's Josh!"
this guy, right? So. Yeah,
that may have in fact
the
happened,
Pimax dude.
but-
They are the Pimax dudes. Yeah, is Josh a metalhead? You look like a metalhead.
No, I'm not actually much of a metalhead, to be honest. I like jazz.
Okay, really? Wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to get to know you the last 2 days, and I'm glad that also we can do a live stream so that people get to know you a bit better, and also of course what you got to show here on this roadshow. So we're going to hear more about these devices right now. So I've been checking them out for the last 2 days. So have lots of other people. And I know that you want to know more. And I saw the comments already on my last video. Like, okay, that's it. Aren't you going to show more of the devices? Obviously, I made so many interviews with so many people who came to the roadshow, and you're going to see them all. But I know you want to also see something now, and you want to see us interact live, and that's why we do this live stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. I wish we could have done some live stream during the day.
Right. But it was so busy, and you guys were attending to the people so well, so there was no time to do any live stream. But now actually, it is now finished. The days here in Dortmund, the 2 days, and now you're off to the next show, and now we have some time before we go to dinner.
Yeah.
So
hopefully
we do it for you guys. We do it for you.
We missed the dinner yesterday, so hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need something to eat. We've pretty much skipped breakfast and lunch every single day of this entire trip. So every single time it's just straight to work, and we're not getting to sleep most days until like 3-4 a.m.
Exactly. It was a very intense 2 days, and it was just great to have you guys over. So thanks to you guys, and thanks to Pimax for choosing the MRTV headquarters as one of the locations. And I also want to say thanks to all the people who came, and we're going to see lots of those people, right? You took lots of videos, I took lots of videos.
Yeah, a lot of impressions, a lot of first hands-ons from people from different kind of, even developers and people from the industry also. So
exactly.
Yeah, we had quite a few B2B clients come through, people that use a large number of VR headsets in their work, and they seemed really happy with what they saw in general. So we feel like the feedback has been really positive.
Yeah. Right. We're going to talk about this more. Before we start to talk about the devices, I want you, the people who are watching this now, share this live stream now with the people you know. If you're a Pimax fan, share this on the Pimax forums, share this on the Discords, right? So that everyone knows that we're doing this live right now. So we need to get this to at least like 350 or 400 people watching this live. Or we're just going to wait here.
Yeah, exactly. And we missed the dinner again, right?
And we were gonna miss the dinner
Yeah,
again.
you guys are gonna make us go hungry. We'll sit here and pound down beers until we finally get that 350 number.
Right. So share this now. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start probably with this device. And yeah, I can touch it. It feels real. Probably it turns on even. We're going to check it out live in this live stream. This is the Pimax Portal. It is a handheld device that does Android content, and well, it can also go into this here, and become a VR headset. You can put it into a dock. Then it can become something like a set-top box. And Josh, I want to ask you, can it also bring me beer from the refrigerator?
We are currently working on that functionality, but I don't think it's going to be ready for the Portal 1. You guys might have to hold out for the Portal 2, so go back to Kickstarter.
Okay.
It might include some vacuum cleaning and stuff like that also.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
Okay.
The Portal made.
The Portal made. Yep. So I needed to make this little joke because, well, your presentation was so entertaining. Man, I was live streaming it, and I was, honestly speaking, I was entertained. That's for sure. But I must also tell you, it was like a bit over the top. It was like, this can do everything. It was like, wow. Like, okay, handheld VR headset. Then it can also do like a Kinect stuff. Right,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like, and then you can even put it into another device to make it bigger, and then there's also like a mini computer. And I like at this point I was like, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it was overwhelmed.
Oh yeah.
You know, this was what I personally felt, and also I got this kind of feeling from the people that I talked to. It felt like too much. It was like, wow, there's even more. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the only thing I was missing, bring me my beer from the refrigerator. So what would you say to that kind of criticism?
Well, I think a lot of people don't know really. Pimax is still a fairly large company. We only broke 200 employees over this last year. We've hired a whole suite of new employees to help us with Portal, Crystal, and the 12K. We don't put a ton of money into our marketing department right now. We're not big enough to do that. We need to keep most of our funding for company operations and the development side of things. So our presentations, we don't do an individual presentation for our Chinese market or the Indian market or anything. We translate all of these. So we have to keep in mind kind of marketing norms across like the whole world, and try to create something that kind of fits with all of those different marketing norms.
So your presentation was also meant for the Chinese market?
Yeah, it was translated to Chinese. They
No
end up
kidding.
translated
Wow.
to like 26 different languages, actually, is what we end up getting them translated into eventually. And then it also serves as also for our investors. It's kind of part of the investor pitch too. So we
One
throw
size fits
everything in
all.
there, but with the Portal, really, quite a lot of the functionality that we really show off in that is really stuff that's already baked into Android. We're really building off the top of the Android platform.
Yeah, okay. Like
it's not as crazy as it seems. To be honest.
And also
okay. I understand, and like set-top box, it makes sense. But some things were just like over the top, like the Kinect functionality. I think it's going to be tough to find developers who really do that. So I'm just wondering, like, wouldn't it be good enough to focus on like the handheld mode, and that you can also make a VR headset out of it? I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea too. You know, it's just a matter of really showing off what we can do to developers. Okay, for instance, if you take the Nintendo Switch, for instance. Almost no games since the thing was released have taken advantage of the HD Rumble feature. I think there's like 2 experiences on the entire Nintendo Switch that do it, but Nintendo continues to advertise and talk about the fact they've got HD Rumble just in case you want to use it. The cameras are already there. We already do tracking, so if you want to sit it on a stand and track from there, you can do it. And if you're a developer, you want to build something around that as an experience, we're here with open arms. Our SDK is going to be like really free and open to developers. Pretty much anyone can join the program. And if your idea sounds really good, we'll even provide funding. So
okay.
Right.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the features which are there, which we presented for the portal, they're already existing in the Crystal. That's the thing, which is a great thing because we didn't have to like reinvent the wheel from the beginning, right? Like the Snapdragon XR2 processor is already in there. We have the same kind of cameras for the tracking system, which will be possible to do with the controllers as well. Like since they're attachable and then attachable to the VR controller, so to say. So there, we wanted to basically, you're asking about the base functionality, which is already there. It's already working. We've proven that already in Berlin and also here. And now the software is a little bit limited for now, but we already proved that this works. But then on top of that, there are so many other things
that could happen,
that could be added and will be added to this device. And Robin, the founder of Pimax,
he has a vision.
He has a vision. He is an enthusiast, like a real enthusiast. He's like just like me. We're like kids, basically. When you see a device and you started to realize its potential, then you really just discover new ways of like, wow, we could add this and we could add that. And then you try it at the lab and it turns out it is working. Because basically every single feature that we promised is already been tested in the lab. That's the thing. So it's not like an idea, like a future idea of something. This is stuff we are testing in the lab. No, well, not me specifically, but people in Shanghai.
So we did see a lot of comments, in various sections, people asking about, is Portal development taking away from the 12K or the Crystal? And these are all part of our new platform we're calling the Reality Series.
Right.
So the XR2 processor is the same throughout all of the headsets, and most of the underlying programming is all the same. The controller tracking is based on the same algorithms. The eye tracking is still being done by Tobii. All of these features are things that kind of are cross-compatible between them. Even the SDK for the Crystal, the 12K, and the Portal will be very, very similar between the devices. It's going to be really easy. If you want to put your game on the Portal, it's not going to take very much work at all if you want to switch that game over to the Crystal and the 12K. It's
So that makes sense because
kept that in mind.
Works on the XR2, right?
Right. And a lot of the hardware, like the screens come from the same manufacturers. The cameras are pretty much, I think they're like the same camera. The XR2 processor is the same. We're reusing a lot of components.
Right.
And since Android is Android, and we're building off that platform, it's actually saving us development time by doing it this way.
That makes sense. Honestly, guys, I must tell you, I was happy that I could touch this and then you can turn it on and it works at all. I didn't, honestly, when I watched your presentation, first of all, I was amazed, and surprised, and then I thought like, okay, but this cannot be real. Like I thought that these are only renders, and that cannot be real. But then like a day afterwards, I saw somebody on Twitter, like showing it. That it's a real device.
It is, and it's been in development for so long now.
We totally didn't know that. We had no idea about it.
It's been hard.
It's like a secret.
It's been hard to keep this secret for so long, but I think this is no news to Pimax really. We've been developing this for so long, and there's so many features which are basically working at the lab right now already, which we are not supposed to show yet though. But I think we definitely took a lot of people with a surprise. I mean, we surprised them by showing the functionality of the Portal. I can show you a demo. I mean, this is just I just turned on the VR. Most people probably know about this experience. This is the Bring Traveler. Already works perfectly with 6-degree of freedom. It's hard to focus with the camera, but still, you probably can tell that it's working with the tracking. It's hard to see that it actually tracks with the 6-degree of freedom, but it does.
It does. I've tried it too.
Yeah, we tried it. Resolution is great. Most people who try the device says that the resolution is way better than the Quest 2 also. I've been using Quest 2 for maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say like much better.
No, but they say it's better.
It's in between the screen resolution being 4K on the Portal. Yeah. Whereas the Quest 2 is nearly 4K, and the Pico 4 actually exceeds 4K. We're falling right in between those two in resolution.
Right. Okay. So I'm not a big Quest user because I never got the Quest 2. I had the Quest 1, which I gave away to my sister's young kid. So I'm not a big fan of standalone stuff anyway. You know me.
I know
Yeah.
exactly.
Especially the first generation also. I mean, this is starting to become something actually. But yeah, this thing works. It just really works, and I'm pretty surprised about the pixel density on this thing, even though we're using one single 4K panel, which, I mean, the pixel density is better here than it was on the ATX, which is crazy. To me, it actually looks better than the ATX. For some reason, I don't know.
So we've just confirmed this is better than the 8KX.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No,
but I think I mean, at least it's.
Let me try this as
it's
well.
It's kind of like well. Let's say it's very equal to the 8KX at least.
Let me try this. Let me have a look now.
And I'm not saying it's better in any way. They're completely two different headsets, of course. And I'm a big fan of the 8KX, and I'm even bigger fan of the Crystal right now.
But actually, you're right about this being like very close to the Quest 2. Yeah, really, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's better.
The resolutions are
pixel
really
density.
similar. It's the pixel density is a little bit better on the Portal. It's a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
Because the total resolution on the Quest 2 is a little bit lower than 4K, and our total resolution is 4K.
Sure.
And
but who is it for? I think us, these people who are watching this right now, they are most probably VR enthusiasts, right?
Okay.
So
Sure.
I totally well, we have seen it all, like us, right? I have the Pico 4, I have the Quest 2, I have the Quest Pro. Probably I wouldn't need it. Well, yes, to show it off to people, and also actually I like the Android gaming for streaming. For me, I would use it for Xbox streaming, right?
Right. Yeah.
So for me, it makes sense. But this, for who is it?
I think we're targeting a new audience here, actually.
Okay.
Especially people who are new to VR or basically never even tried VR before.
Okay.
Especially since this unit is not only about VR. This is a device you can play your retro games on. You can play Android games. You can do so much more than just VR. Okay. And some people might even start just by buying the base unit only and just use it as it is for streaming.
Honestly, I really think so. First.
Yeah, I mean, right?
NVIDIA
GeForce Now, all the Xbox streaming. There's so many platforms like Moonlight. And then, of course, they could upgrade to the VR strap.
The VR strap is like $50.
I don't remember how much it is when it's standalone when you buy it separately, but
okay.
but it shouldn't be that expensive, and it's a great addition. So of course, no, I don't think a person who's playing with the 8KX will all of a sudden just go buy this thing and
I really don't think this is for us.
No,
well,
I really don't think this is for.
We have a new market in mind.
Yeah.
So we're targeting emerging markets where a lot of people don't necessarily have the financial capability to purchase a gaming PC, a high-end VR headset, a handheld, and all these things at the same time. We're aiming to bring all these sorts of gaming experiences to as large an audience as possible by combining them and taking advantage of the Android platform. And really bringing it down to a price point where it's a lot more approachable for a larger crowd of people. And the fact that it helps us, we can still do the same Android development on the Portal as the Crystal. I mean, it makes sense for us as a company, and we think
new markets.
We think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it. In the West, sure. I mean, you've got Android games, you've got emulation that runs on it.
Right.
Leading up to the release of a recent, very popular handheld device. You actually have had years of development in the Android-based handheld space. I mean, this has been going on for a while.
Sure.
And we think that audience is going to really like the Portal.
Yeah.
As an aside for handheld enthusiasts, the screen has a built-in 1080p mode, so you can actually go in there and activate it. It requires a device reset at this point. But what it does is from the entire imaging pipeline from GPU onward, just all the way through, reports to the system that it's a 1080p screen at that point. It does integer scaling automatically. So you don't have to worry about trying to run your game at 4K if you're in handheld mode. You can actually tell it, the game will think the screen is 1080p, and it'll automatically group 4 pixels together and act just like a 144 hertz 1080p screen.
Yeah, right. Because for
it's variable refresh rate.
For gaming, for handheld gaming like this, I don't need 4K, right? Because it's too small. But the screen, anyways, it looks great, and I'm happy to report that this actually works. Like you already have some kind of operating system, where you can play the Android games and where you can just download the APKs, and then go for it. And also, there's one thing, it's called VR. Probably you would choose it when you go into VR mode, right?
Yeah. The Crystal has 4,068 mini LEDs and 2,156 local dimming zones.
Right. We're going to get to that part later.
As a comment.
You just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I would me personally, I would use it. I would probably use it for
retro gaming and stuff like
retro
that.
gaming and streaming. For me personally, like my PS5 and the Xbox is in the living room. Yeah. But if I want to play in my bed, then I could see myself using it.
Sure, same here. I'm a big fan of retro gaming. I still used to play them on my Amberneck. What do they call those devices? There's so many different kinds of them, and this is just so much better. So much better screen.
Look at this.
So much better, faster processors also. So definitely. Also as a set-top box, I'm a big fan of NVIDIA Shield.
Okay.
Yeah, we have like 3 of them at home, and this could potentially work as a portable shield. You just dock it to the docking station, and
actually yesterday we have connected this to my 4K TV here, right? And you showed me some app where you could watch all kinds of channels.
Sure, it's so fun because you can either use the HDMI, the micro HDMI out to HDMI, and that works perfectly. Just connect it straight away. You see the image on your big screen. Yeah. Or you use the USB-C out to HDMI. Okay. Which does the same thing.
Yeah, it worked well.
So it's very universal. There's so many different ways of using this device. It has my micro SD card support. I have in one of those devices. I put my 400 gigabyte card full of ROMs and stuff, just to test that, and it works great.
So actually, as I said, I was surprised that this is actually real. Yeah. Honestly speaking, right? Because sometimes we had to wait quite a long time to get the Pimax products from the Kickstarters, right? Sure. So this has been in stealth development for how long?
Yeah, at least 1.5 years, at least. Okay. That's where I got to know about it at first, and I'm not the first person to know about things every time. Okay. Listen, the Kickstarter here, we're not talking about Kickstarter so that we can get money to start to develop this thing. The money does exist. Money is not the issue here. The reason why we took Kickstarter, it's not my decision. It was from Robin and the team in Shanghai. Okay. It's probably to get some more exposure. They think, in their opinion,
you made it to MRTV.
Yeah, as you see. No, but I mean, Kickstarter is a platform which gets good exposure, especially, I mean, the marketing, is somehow more, not easy, maybe, but it makes sense for them to use Kickstarter as a marketing platform for this.
Okay, I got our limited marketing budget, it really does help to get eyes on the product. We've got some goals for what we'd like to see from that, Rio. Yeah. The thing is that previous headsets, we do very high-end, very niche products, so they tend to be fairly low production volume. Yeah. With the Portal, we're looking already at the first run producing more than 100,000 units. Yeah. So massive. With that many units planned for the future and even more, since we're going full in on this as a device for the mass market, for emerging markets in Asia, India, South America, and Africa, etc. We're anticipating much higher sales volumes than we are with everything else. We want to see that kind of interest, of course.
Just because of the price, I could see that happening, right? $299 for this is much cheaper than to go for an AKX, which costs like $1,200, and you need to buy base stations and need to have a high-end PC. Right. That makes sense. But still, let me ask you one thing about the VR mode. Mm-hmm. So I think the obvious question is, what kind of games can you play? Because right now here we only see a demo. It's not even a game, right? Because you don't have the controllers are not yet working perfectly on this, right?
They're working, but not perfectly.
Okay, right? Good to know. Yeah, but anyways, let's say just like how it is right now. It's not ready yet. So the question is, what kind of games will you have on this device? Like, you will not be able to compete with the Quest Store or even the Pico Store right now. So, what is your how will you solve the problem of getting games onto this?
We have a huge bunch of developers already now working on the games. I mean, some of them are porting the existing games for our device.
Quest?
Yes, like Quest games, like what is it called? The Quest Link. What's the name of it? The other platform.
You mean the side quest?
Side Quest. Yes. Sorry, guys.
So
tired, long day. Yeah. So there are some games coming from there as well. We really have a lot of developers on board now, but it's going to take some time, of course. And since we still are in development of this device, it might take a couple of months until they're out.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not going to bring in like Beat Saber on this thing, because
obviously,
there's certain games that are just out of reach because they are licensed to other platforms. And there might also be just way too expensive to.
But you're aiming for like hundreds of titles,
yeah. So I mean,
like Pico.
It's not quite as difficult to get games necessarily on the platform as a lot of people might think. We're XR2 based. Our overall specifications for our standalone modes are very similar to what you see with the Pico 4 and the Quest 2, and the underlying hardware is very similar too, and they all run Android. Every Quest game and Pico game is an Android APK file.
Okay, yeah, of course. That makes sense.
They're all really the same thing. So as long as a developer wants to put their game on our platform, we're willing to work with them, give them the SDK, and it's not as difficult as converting a game from x86 for PC VR to a standalone. It's not that level of difficulty. There's work behind it. I mean, there's definitely work to be done to port them, but it's not nearly as difficult, I think, as a lot of non-developers may think.
Okay, so how about PC VR streaming? Is it also something that will work with this?
Yeah, especially through WiGig, which will be available for this device, and through Wi-Fi 6 also, as far as I know. We have not tested it yet, though.
Okay, right.
But that's what's been announced, and of course, if we announce it, we have to deliver it, right?
I'm telling you need to work together with Virtual Desktop. You need to work together with Guy Godin.
Definitely, yeah.
You need really, like, Guy, if you're watching this, probably will put your virtual desktop onto this, because then it directly has an exciting use case, even for us.
Yeah, we already announced that we're going to have a dev kit for at least 1,000 developers. It's not really a big issue for us to send out 1,000 of these units.
Okay, send this to Guy Godin tomorrow.
Sure.
You need to do it.
Yeah.
It's like make or break, in my opinion.
Yeah,
really. I mean it. Like for the Pico 4, it makes a difference.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. I'll make sure that happens.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of people are just focusing on games like Beat Saber, the most popular titles. But the vast majority of people are not only playing Beat Saber. Yeah. Beat Saber is not everything.
Right.
There's so many other better games which could potentially work on this device easily, just like they do on the Quest, or Quest 2 or Pico 4. And it's all about us just partnering with those developers. I mean, I'm in touch with the Kayak VR developer, which is an awesome guy in the Netherlands. I'm going to meet him in a couple of days from now. We are going to meet him.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know we were meeting him.
Yeah. And
hiding things from me.
It's a beautiful game, and I think the team could make some really cool stuff for us as well. They're on it already, basically.
Okay.
So, yeah, among many others. So...
Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's the content will be crucial. Obviously,
the content is 90% of this unit. Definitely.
With Android, it's like a win, because there's already thousands of many
software, streaming services, emulators.
It's about the VR part.
Yeah, the VR part will need more software. I mean, new software.
But I mean, our SDK is free. Anyone can sign up for it. If you want to be a developer, all you have to do is contact us. We've got a team that handles that, and forgive language barrier stuff. Don't get frustrated with them too easily. Sometimes, I understand. I apologize, but hey, there's nothing we can do about that particular issue.
There's you guys, so you can help. So what?
I do help a little bit. Sometimes I pop in and help whenever it's necessary. So there is a possibility if you guys need some assistance every once in a while. If you luck out, you might get me. But
You're right. Yeah, it's great to know that you're actually really a part of Pimax, because before I thought like, okay, did they hire this good-looking actor to make those videos, right? But it turns out you're actually like really working for the company, and
Yeah,
like
he's not an actor.
No, yeah, I was thinking, I didn't know, right? And then these 2 days you gave like you both like were doing an amazing job like showing the devices to people, and we will talk about what people thought about it. You will see it on the channel, but we can also like tell you a bit now what they thought and what I thought. You'll most probably also want to know. Yep. Also want to show this here. This is real. So I saw it in your in your presentation, and I like the idea that there's an additional battery in the back when you put in the portal here. So you have the battery of this device, and then there's even the battery from this adding into it.
Extends the lifetime.
So actually, it's like a very smart design decision.
That XR2 does go kind of wild once you boot it into any VR application.
Right.
The amount of juice it draws then is a lot higher than what it does in like handheld stuff. So it we decided that extra battery would be really nice for people who want an extended play session.
Sure.
Right.
So I think that it more than doubles the battery life.
Right, and you will be able to play it also connected to with a cable, of course, just like any other device. So
of course,
if you're just sitting on a sofa, it doesn't really matter to.
Yeah.
This design is not finalized. These are still all prototype units. We've got quite a lot of them though. We've got like 30 or 40 of them laying around at the office already.
Yeah.
But this one here particularly does feature the USB on the bottom for charging. So even if you wanted to further extend your playing session, a USB battery bank in your back pocket plugged into this, and you'll get even more battery life than that out of it. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a lot of comments now saying that you should listen to metal.
It looks like a metal.
Yeah,
Thrash metal.
Yeah.
I've been told that the metal scene. I've been told like the metal scene and like the thrash here in Germany is really good. I would like to check it out before we have to leave Europe. I hope I get that chance.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I hope you enjoyed your stay in Germany so far.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah, like lots of meat and lots of adult beverages.
Man, the currywurst is
currywurst,
delicious.
yeah.
It's awesome. Oh.
I'm glad that I could introduce a little bit of a German culture to you guys.
We haven't eaten today, so now we're talking about food.
Later we're going to have pork knuckle.
Oh, pork knuckle tonight? All right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
So someone is asking here if this is an Oculus Go. No, it's not. It's a Pimax Portal.
Right.
This is the Pimax Portal, and this is the Pimax Portal View, which you basically slide in the units. Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to summarize that quickly for the new viewers, I think.
Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. I really enjoy the magnet thing. I could see this for me as an Android handheld, right? This makes sense for me. For me personally, I will probably not use this as a VR headset, but I understand that this is for another market.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? But probably some would use it who never wanted to try VR, but now they have the chance for 50 euros. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there anything more you would like to add to Portal?
Well, there are so many features we could talk forever about all the features. I mean, just the Android device itself allows us to do anything on it. Basically,
right.
It's just completely open to install any kind of application. I was watching some IPTV channels, like football is going on right now.
Right.
So I was watching it in my room instead of watching on the TV. Just plugged it in and.
So we have we actually have two options for video out. The USB-C works for video out, and the dock that we're going to be providing and selling is a USB-C dock, and that's actually really simple. As far as my understanding is at this point in development, the USB-C dock is just a custom fit USB-C dock. It's not anything crazy. We're not adding a bunch of technology into that. That's not taking away development time from literally anything. We just had to get that cast. I mean, we just molded and nothing. We also have the mini HDMI. Now, the mini HDMI should be the port that we're going to be utilizing for that WiGig module. Because it goes, obviously, whenever it's actually in here, the USB-C is on the bottom. You don't want a cable or any sort of dongle hanging out around your chin. Going to go through the top HDMI.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of buttons on this thing.
Sorry. The thing is, it's like too much. It's like just keep it simple.
But don't you just love those analog?
The analog.
Yeah, this is like
triggers.
I like the hardware. It so reminds me of a Switch, right? But it's just like, in my opinion, again for Pimax, keep it simple, stupids.
Yeah.
But
And
you
yeah,
got a good point.
just make it like, okay, this is a cool Android handheld, which can also have some VR stuff, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
Don't add the other crazy things.
You've got a good point. It's very similar to Switch, but we do have some upgrades over the Switch just in pure terms of hardware. Of course, the screen, but in actually the interfaces. These analog sticks, though they may look very similar to the Switch analogs. Let me see if this will focus.
You have to go, yeah, it was focusing, yeah.
I need to hide
sorry.
there.
Yeah, we have to hide.
there we
Okay,
go.
sorry.
Yeah.
These may look like the Switch analog sticks, but these are not. These are Hall sensor-based analog sticks. So Hall sensors, you can set a much lower dead zone. They're a little bit more accurate and sensitive, and they're way more resistant to drift because they work on magnets.
Yeah.
The triggers are analog triggers, so we've to reduce the size profile to make it a little bit more comfortable. Say if you're the type of person to slip your handheld into your pocket. My PS Vita's over there on the on the couch. I don't have it in my pocket right now. Took it out to sit down, but these are angled, right? So we put them at an angle to reduce the profile, which I was really happy about personally. Yeah, so we do have a couple of actual physical hardware advantages over a couple of other things on the market. There's not very many, in the handheld space. A lot of the smaller ones this thin, they don't necessarily tend to have the analog triggers or Hall sensors. I think there's only...
Yeah, and also stereo speakers, which isn't as common actually as people might think.
Stereo speakers on them as well.
Yeah.
Of course, those are downfiring. We could have been putting them on the front because then in the VR cover, that wouldn't have really worked. So.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So I was surprised that this actually is a real thing that works already with that. Actually, these screens are normally put into your new headsets, right? Like you're reusing the stuff. So,
actually,
something like this, or
well, I don't know about that actually, especially since the local dimming one is a QLED panel.
Right.
Active
the
cooling.
ones that said local dimming here, it's QLED panels which we haven't used in the past in none of our headsets.
but in the current headsets, like the Crystal.
No, the Crystal is using 2880 times 2880 two panels, which are completely different resolution.
Okay, got it.
It has a higher vertical resolution and slightly smaller, but it's one panel per eye, of course.
Okay.
So no, it's a completely different screen, but it's still using the QLED technology, and we also have a version which is not QLED, which is just
a regular LCD.
LCD with backlight.
It has actually the same total number of mini LEDs as the Crystal.
Okay.
So it's 4,068 mini LEDs and 2,156.
The screen looks beautiful,
but on one screen instead of two.
The screen without a doubt looks more beautiful than my Switch. There's no question about it. So that's good. So for the state of this here now for this roadshow, it was still not ready, right? The direct connection, the sticks didn't work, but via Bluetooth it worked, right? So you still have to. There's still quite a bit of development going on.
These are still prototypes. So right now I know that the next set of development prototypes. These have 6 pins on there. We're upgrading that to 16 for the direct connection. That way we get that working correctly. And then we're trading out a few different components in it to get the tracking working better. And these are late development prototypes, but they're still prototypes. And we've got 2 months before the Kickstarter even ends.
Okay.
So
I just got an interesting question. So this has an XR2 chipset. Does it have enough power to emulate Switch games? That's an interesting question, right?
Officially, Pimax.
Officially, obviously,
you could emulate the Switch on it. Sure.
You can do that. I mean, since the power of the XR2 is somewhere around the Snapdragon 888.
Okay. Yeah, 8 plus Gen 1 after it's been overclocked really to the limit.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe even there. I mean, with the new what is it called, Skyline emulator?
Yeah, Skyline emulator.
Yeah. There's also another one which we shouldn't talk about that. But there are emulators which could do potentially.
Yeah.
But it's not something we are promoting really. It's,
of course.
we're not Switch. We're not advocating any kind of piracy.
In the Android-based handheld space, currently speaking, previously I think the most powerful device had been the Odin Pro, which had a Snapdragon 860 processor in it with active cooling. Right. The XR2 with active cooling should be similar or superior in power to that handheld, which comes in at about the same price, right at $300, I think. Yeah. $250 to $300. Yeah. So the handheld price is about the same, but ours comes with removable controllers that work as individual Bluetooth controllers. You can use them side by side, just like this.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, this
stick
is
them
pretty,
together into one controller.
This is pretty interesting.
I think we've got they have a larger screen, but ours is higher resolution, and ours has an upgrade path. So yeah, I think we've got an argument for why you should purchase it. Yeah.
The wide usability. I mean, so many options of usability can probably attract a lot of people to either. I mean, whether you're playing retro games or if you're playing Android games, if you want to stream games. I mean, nowadays the GeForce Now is really great. Actually, I mean, back in Sweden where I live, the 5G network is so good. So you could.
It's better than in Germany for sure.
Yeah, you can definitely. You can sit on a bus or on a train and just play your, Cyberpunk and stuff on your handheld device. I've done that many times on my phone, and it just works.
Right.
Like Jensen Hung would say. That's not a good thing. Okay.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It just works. No, really, it does work.
Okay.
Okay. So we have some
questions
about
no, but I mean,
I know
through Android.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll answer some questions about the Crystal here in just a little bit, guys.
Right. We have 290 viewers right now. We need to get to 350 in order to talk about the Crystal, right?
Bring your grandmother.
Bring them, and probably you guys can answer some questions while I'll take a little break.
Sure.
Yeah. So don't go crazy with this channel while I'm away.
Oh no! Let's dance, guys.
Let's ruin his reputation.
So, well, let's see. Portal standard display spec. Well, that is it's 1080. It's 4K resolution. The panels are 4K resolution, and I don't know what more specs. It's up to 144 hertz.
It's a variable refresh rate display, which supports up to 144 hertz. Yeah. You actually have a FPS limiter in the settings, so you can set it to 60, 90, or 120. And then in VR mode, it'll allow it to run up to 144. Realistically, probably standalone games probably won't hit that 144 at 4K resolution. But if you're doing PC VR streaming, then that's what that's there for.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Lars is asking when we are coming to Denmark for a tour. Well, of course, the time is a little bit limited right now. We're ending this roadshow in about mid-December, and then it's Christmas. Then we're going to United States for the CES exhibition. So I think I'm going to try to plan in some stuff in Sweden and Denmark, maybe also Norway, in late January, beginning of February. That's around that time. I think which is reasonable for us to do it. We got to get home at some point also, so we can't be away during tours for 3 months in a row. But yeah, at earliest in January somewhere. Chances of 120 degrees field of view crystal. Well, the crystal is 120 degrees field of view.
If you're DIYing a VR headset, I mean, it may be possible to get us to sell you a set of lenses, but it wouldn't work without the proper distortion profile. You'd end up with something wonky looking, most likely. Yeah. We have to calibrate all of those for each of the headsets we produce.
Well, depending on what IPD you use, you could reach up to around 120 degrees field of view on the horizontal side, on the crystal already at this point. If you have a lower IPD number, it gets a little bit, the field of view goes down to maybe 110 degrees or so. I would say, now we're just running ahead here and started talking about crystal, but I think most of the people at this event here at MRTV headquarters and also in Berlin just stated or said that the field of view is definitely larger than it is on the HP Reverb G2, the Quest 2, even the Valve Index, and also not only on the horizontal side but also on the vertical side. So yeah, the field of view, I don't think it's an issue with the crystal, so to say.
So someone asked about Quest 2 compatibility. We don't know. I haven't tried it. I haven't given it a test. Theoretically, they're both running APKs. You can try to,
but it's
probably not going to work out of the box.
No,
a developer most likely needs to redirect things like the tracking, the resolution numbers.
We have here the most important question here. Gigodon, hi, good to have you here on the stream. We've talked about virtual desktop before, and I hope that virtual desktop is going to be on the Pimax Crystal. It's going to be on the portal, right? Because it's going to add so much value to these headsets.
Sure.
Right? Like that's like the Pico. It changed everything for me once there was virtual desktop on it.
Yeah.
So this is a very technical question. Probably you will not be able to answer it, but this is a great question for your team in China.
Yeah.
Or probably you know already. His question is, how's the OpenXR runtime implementation going with Pimax standalone headset? Any estimate as to when it will be ready?
I know we have a team working on this right now, and they have come a long way. They got also some help thanks to the OpenXR runtime that Mbacha or Matthew. He's actually in Microsoft employee, I think. He made an OpenXR runtime, which works great with the Pimax headsets like the 8KX and 8K Plus and all those, even with the Crystal, of course, which does work with certain games like Microsoft Flight Simulator, DCS, and such.
Boneworks.
Many games, actually. So yes, but we're still. That's an unofficial Pimax XR OpenXR runtime. But we're still working on our own version of it, of course. I mean, more official one. Yeah. But I don't know any release date of that yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be released like after Chinese New Year. So it's not going to be before Chinese New Year. There's just too much things going on at this moment. I don't think they want to mess around with the OpenXR.
But this is just so important.
I know,
definitely. Just to get virtual desktop running on these devices. This is like the thing is like this is going to be like a huge sales point.
Of course.
For you guys, right? Because then everybody knows, okay, virtual desktop runs on these.
Yeah.
Okay, that means like wireless streaming is a go.
Definitely.
You know, that's
totally
so well.
And we already got the proof of concept that the OpenXR works great. The Pimax XR works great with those flight simulators, improving the frame rate up to like 10 frames. You know, it's crazy compared to the Steam VR OpenXR solution, or it's built-in runtime. So yeah, it's gonna come out. It is in progress, but I'm not involved in the development.
Good to know that.
We have a question about the lenses. This Tofu's Takeout. Nice to have you here in the stream. Thank you for coming. You asked, are we going to have 120 horizontal field of view with the 35 ppd lenses or the 42? That's with the 35 ppd lenses.
Yes.
The 42 ppd lenses reduce the field of view by 20 to 25 degrees. And they're generally speaking, those are really intended more for our business audience. We have a lot of B2B customers, and on the offset that someone wants to, on the off chance someone wants to sit there and do virtual desktop and like actually work in a $1,500 Pimax Crystal, that's there for them. So text is incredibly crisp. I mean, yeah. But those are still under development too, so we're still working with those.
Perfect, guys. Let's put away the portals. Now let's talk about the Crystal. I know that our viewers now, they want to talk about the Crystal. Lots of people came here to the MRTV headquarters today and yesterday to see the Crystal.
Right.
And like me, and I know the people on the channel are mostly excited about your new platform. And this is it. This is the first headset from the new platform. Probably you would be much better to introduce what the headset can do as compared to the 8KX. Tell us more about the people who don't know the Crystal yet. Tell us about this headset.
Right. So first of all, I mean, it's not that difficult to understand that the Crystal is the main event on this roadshow, because we already had a big community with enthusiasts which are playing flight simulators, racing simulators, all that in gaming in general. And this is what people have been waiting for quite many months now. So yes, here it is. It's still a pre-production.
But it's real, actually.
It is real.
It's not virtual.
Fully working. Yeah, it's completely working now. There are some things which are not enabled by the software yet, which I will mention. We will talk about in a moment. But it is a fully working device now. Let me go through it from start. It is a PC VR headset, but it's also a standalone VR headset. It has the same Snapdragon XR2 chipset as the Portal does. It does inside-out tracking with those 4 cameras. So you don't need those base stations and controllers anymore. You don't have to spend another $600 just to play Beat Saber or whatever. It's bundled with two 60-degree freedom controllers, which does look very similar to the Oculus Quest 2 controllers. Well, it has so many functionality. Well, where to begin even? It has QLED panels. They are 2880 times 2880. So it's the same resolution as the Vario Aero has. I mean, we're not here to promote other companies, but it's good to mention that it's like the top high end of the resolutions available for the VR in the VR industry right now. But they're QLED. They have local dimming with you know the number, how many zones per display.
It's 4,068 total. That's split over the two displays.
Right.
So 2,034, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then 2,156 zones, I think.
Yeah. So the headset is using aspheric lenses. They're in glass. They're pretty thick, actually, like more thicker than a centimeter once you plug them up. And we're going to do that in a second. It has a motorized IPD. It's built-in Tobii eye tracking. It's already inside here. The hardware is inside. The camera, the sensors, all of that. Although at this roadshow we're doing right now in Europe, we are not showing the eye tracking capability. And I met actually Tobii last week. I was there at the headquarters in Stockholm, and we were talking for like 4 hours. I was testing this stuff with eye tracking. It was great, really. But they told me we have to wait a couple of more weeks until they feel confident to release it to the public, so we can demo it to the public. I think they're very picky how stable it has to be.
That's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it definitely.
It's good.
I was a little bit disappointed because I was hoping for
to show it here, right?
Yeah, to show it here, but it is inside
honestly
already.
speaking, I think it's already a win that Tobii is working together with Pimax.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Tobii is like the #1 eye tracking company. Like
Yeah,
they
it is,
they
definitely.
do
I
the
mean,
PSVR
PSVR
2, and
yeah.
also like having this in a Pimax headset, that means something.
Tobii has been great to work with. So I mean, we've been working with them. They're going to be helping us with the Crystal. They're helping us with the 12K. And they seem very enthusiastic. They really want to continue working with us in the future on future headsets as well. So, fingers crossed, that's going to be a really long-lasting partnership.
So with this eye tracking, will foveated rendering directly work out of the box?
Yes, that's one of the features Tobii is providing
for all
for
the
us.
games, or how does it work?
It is going to be driver level.
Okay.
But some titles might need some extra support, like layer of support, especially the ones which are, I think, like forward rendering or something.
Okay.
IL2 is a good example. IL2 Sturmovik, which currently do not support any kind of dynamic foveated rendering with any headset, as far as I know. But in general, yes, it's going to be. You're not dependent of support from the game itself,
right?
Which is great, I think. And also the auto IPD itself is going to be automatic. Just if someone has tested the Vario Aero or maybe other headsets which has similar functionality, it's going to be the same thing. I tried it myself, and it's really simple. You simply put on your headset, and it takes like 2 seconds. Then it says if you're holding the headset too high up, it's going to adjust it for you.
Right,
I mean, it's going to tell you to adjust your headset higher up or lower down, and then it measures the IPD.
So what kind of computer do you need to run this? Like we were very happy. We had 4090 computers here, thanks to Bestware. Greetings to you. So, but what do you need?
Well, I'm an enthusiast, so I have a 4090, of course.
Do you need a 4090?
No, definitely not. Definitely.
3090.
Here's the thing.
What do you need?
I would say the minimal specification. I would say personally, I'm not saying this is the official system requirement. No, I would say it's like the.
Admit it.
No, I would say it's like the 3070.
3070.
Yeah, I would say that is the bare minimum actually, because I've tried quite many titles now. Beat Saber.
I'm kidding.
I actually think we can run Beat Saber on like a 2080 Ti.
I know. I know, but I'm just wondering. It's going to
depend on the
people will want to play Microsoft Flight Simulator.
No.
If you can run the total resolution being driven is the same as the 8KX. And once foveated rendering is working, that gives you a theoretical 40% decrease in overhead. So
this is the point, I think, right?
So
if it uses the eye tracking for foveated rendering, probably it makes sense. The 3070 can work, right?
So theoretically, if you can run your 8KX at something you find acceptable, you should also have a pretty good time with the crystal. Although, of course, we do recommend the higher the specs, the better for most of our headsets. But I think that people will be pretty surprised with what they'll be able to get by with, because the total resolution being driven, same as the 8KX.
It's not the total resolution, but the total amount of pixels.
Yeah, the total pixels being driven.
Yeah, which of course the pixel utilization is way higher on the crystal compared to the 8KX, because you had a narrow field of view. Yeah. You had basically 3,000 times, almost 3,000 times 3,000 pixels per eye.
Right.
While on the 8KX, the pixels were spread out through a way wider field of view, and some of the pixels just got wasted because of you know the peripheral view. You hardly see anything anyway. I mean, you're not just gazing like 170 degrees to the left.
I'm super looking forward to try this out. On my 3080, right? I have a 3080, and then once this works with the 4D rendering, I will definitely check this out. Like now with the 4090s that we have standing here, it worked like perfectly. It was just like okay. So if you have a 4090, I can tell you yes, even without 4D rendering, you can do Microsoft Flight Simulator. We did Microsoft Flight Simulator. We did Project Cars.
Let's be honest here. I mean, this is a enthusiast-oriented, or we're targeting for the enthusiasts mainly.
This is the people who watch this channel.
Yeah, and I don't think many enthusiasts back home. I mean, I may be wrong, but I don't think many are using graphic cards from the NVIDIA 2000 generation anymore. I think most of the people do have at least a 3070, 3080. Right. I mean, if you are an enthusiast, if you're playing those simulators, or like, let's say, Half-Life Alyx with mods, or even Skyrim, such an old game as Skyrim VR, once you start to add all those mods to make it beautiful, you are going to need a 3070, 3080, or even 3090 to run it, even on a I don't know, even on a 5K plus, I would say, you know, it's. I think this headset pairs really well with the high-end GPUs, and
of course.
And I don't think anyone should expect to run this thing on a GTX, 1080 or something.
Of course
It's
not.
not made for it. You can play like, job simulator.
It's an enthusiast device. Let's say it makes sense, right? So let's talk about the price. It's going to be priced at $1,600.
Yeah, $1,599, right?
Right.
And then every single person who has a Pimax headset, like any of them, will get $100 off. From that. So that's going to be
and it will come with the two sets of lenses.
Two sets of, yes, both the 35 ppd and the 42 ppd lenses will be included in the box.
Okay.
And also, where is it? I think it was 2 batteries, right? Was it?
Yeah, I think 2 batteries.
Yeah. So we can hot swap them and charge them the other one meanwhile.
So this is very cool.
Generally speaking, if you can run the 8KX, you'll be able to run the crystal. Running it at full speed, if you're planning on maxing out all your settings, full native resolution, it's going to depend on your system. If you can pull off full native resolution on the 8KX at an acceptable frame rate, you'll be able to run the crystal.
Right.
As far as AMD graphics cards, we don't have the new RDNA 3 stuff yet. They haven't provided it. We don't have any samples to program on or test on. We're unable to test. But I mean, we get conflicting reports at the company about the older AMD cards. Like some people get the 8KX running on them, even though officially it doesn't really work. But I've seen people have the 8KX running on them. We don't know what AMD does that. We're trying to figure that out.
Okay, but let's say you're safe with NVIDIA cards.
You're safe with NVIDIA
AMD
for sure,
probably not.
For sure.
This is really cool. So can you show this again?
AMD...
So actually, what Martin just did, like he got one of the lenses off, and you can still see that there is still like a protective layer.
Yeah, which with a very thin protective layer of glass, which. It's not distracting the image, and it's not how would say.
It's a shield to prevent you from anything from getting in or on the actual panel itself. And so, if you have to clean the shield, you're only cleaning that shield. If you have to replace it, you're only replacing that. You're not replacing a panel.
And also, even if you get a lot of dust on this protective layer, you won't see that in VR because it's not in focus, unless you started really scratch the surface or pour some beer on it. But once you keep it kind of like
crystal's clearer than the Arrow and has a larger field of view.
Right.
So the eye
for you.
tracking,
Yes.
it works not like normally. Normally the eye tracking cameras
outside.
are outside,
Yeah,
right?
here
But
they're
but this
inside.
they're inside of the device.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
hard
also
to tell, but
it's,
if you really look inside of there, like in daylight, you can
Okay.
actually see those sensors
So-
in the camera.
so there's this kind of like protective layer. It also works as like a layer to see your eyes,
Right.
right? So
Yes.
okay. So this is kind of an interesting architecture.
It is,
Right?
It is definitely. I mean, it took Toby quite a lot of work to make it done. This is the first headset they're actually doing this technique with. Also, the lenses here, you can only snap them in one position, so
Oh,
it's
here it
super
is,
easy.
yeah.
You can't make it wrong, basically. It's impossible to
Yeah.
attach the lenses in the wrong position or rotate it another way.
You know,
because of the three magnets.
Okay, I've heard so many people who were telling me, okay, Sebastian, so isn't this going to be full of dust after a while?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, the dust, the layer, the protective layer over here, even if you get dust on it, you
This
can
one
just
you can
easily
clean or what?
you can just easily clean it off with a very thin brush or
Yeah.
you don't even need to use this. You can just use one of those things that those air puffers, those
I know.
most of it goes away directly. If you happen to touch it with your finger, then yes, you might need to use like a cloth to clean it up. But and again, we do have some dust over here right now, but it's
Yeah, right.
completely invisible in VR because if you've ever
Oh, it's
seen,
not going in.
I'm gonna hide. There it is.
Spheric lenses, so this means they are absolutely clear.
Yeah, no rings. Like
No
the
rings,
Fresnel
no
lenses.
Fresnel lenses. It's yeah.
Pretty thick also.
They-
It's like a
they-
centimeter.
Yeah, I will talk about the lenses in more videos later, and
Yeah.
also tonight in the stream. So I will tell you my opinion in a moment.
Yeah.
Once we have like 400 people watching this.
But I just want to end up the discussion about the dust in here. And if you've ever seen like dust on your displays, I mean in VR on your headset, that's because the dust is right at the panel. Because that's where you get the focus. That's what your eyes are focusing on. So that's the only time you actually see the dust in VR, when it gets into on the panel itself, physical panel. But here the protective layer prevents that from happening.
So, so by aspheric we mean pancake lens. Aspheric would be the more technical term.
Yeah.
Some people ask about OLEDs. Utilizing an OLED would drive up the price a lot on the panels. That's one thing to keep this kind of resolution and field of view at an approachable consumer price. We had to use QLED. If we'd used OLEDs, you guys would be paying over $2,000 for the headset, not $1,500.
At least.
Yeah, it'd probably be $2,500 for the
Yeah.
crystal if we were throwing OLEDs in there. The panels we're using are way bigger than other OLEDs.
Especially
it's-
when you're talking about this resolution.
There's
It's-
also unique issues along with OLEDs. The refresh rates on OLEDs are really quickly, but each individual OLED pixel has to recharge. So if you're quickly moving from side to side, you can get
So-
weird ghosting issues.
Right.
Sony was able to solve this because they could throw a ridiculous amount of money at the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
But even they couldn't give you the large resolution without driving the price sky high. They're
So
losing
here,
money
so
on it,
so
for
here,
sure.
so here, what kind of refresh rate do we have?
Right now it's 90 and 120 hertz working, which we demoed, which we do demo on the Roadshow. But we're also working on 144 hertz and 160 hertz. I've tried
Okay.
a debug mode with 144 hertz. It works, but it's still not 100% stable. So
Yeah.
they're still working. But as you know, with Pimax, they wouldn't be surprised me if we have like 180 hertz on
Yeah.
this thing like next year or
Actually,
so.
I was okay with the 90 hertz, honestly, but I know there's
Yeah.
people who can see 120 hertz.
Yeah,
and
I'm a
depends
big
on the game, right?
I'm a big fan of the 120 hertz mode, especially in simulators, because when
Okay.
the simulator, many of them run in like 60 frames per second.
Yeah, right.
Like Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you tune it right, especially if you use a good graphic card, you're gonna run it around 60, maybe 70 sometimes, and then. You can lock the frame rate to half of it, either
Okay.
with the smart smoothing, or you just lock the frame rate in our software, so it only runs at 60 hertz frames per second, and then.
Okay.
Then when you run it in 120 hertz, it's gonna feel really smooth without any judder or
Got it.
stutters.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you still want to say something? For the
Yeah, I was
refresh
just going to
rate, or-
ask you, what did you think? So it's my turn to
yeah.
ask you a question.
We're going to get to my impressions very soon.
We're going to get to your impressions soon. Okay, well,
I just wanted.
never mind then.
Okay, I just want to, before we get to my impressions, where we need like 400 people are watching this live, so spread the word right now. I want to talk about the state of the headset right now, because we need to make sure everyone understands this is not finished, and there were restrictions. Like you were not able to show the controllers. I mean, they're here, but they didn't really work.
Well, actually, we did demos with the controllers
in Berlin.
Right. Yeah, and many people tried it with Half-Life Alyx, with Skyrim, and it works.
But
there were still glitches. Yeah, and unfortunately, there is a bug which we're still trying to fix, and that is that it glitched out after like 10 or 15 minutes when the controller was not plugged into the charging station.
Right. So
for some reason, for this reason alone, we had to use the controllers attached with the cables.
Right.
But we also proved the point that they do work without the cables. We unplugged them, and the people were playing around.
It would be very sad if it wouldn't work with the cable. Right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Then we had a meeting with Robin and the team, and he actually said something pretty clever. Like, there's no point showing off
if it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work properly.
Right.
Just like Toby did with us.
Like
they
it
told us,
makes
like,
sense.
no, wait for the firmware.
It makes sense. Like here in Dortmund, in this roadshow, we had like 3 stations. It was like Microsoft Flight Simulator, Project Cars 2, and one station where people could compare the Aero to this.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was, you know what, that worked,
Yeah.
and people got an idea about the visual quality and everything, and that's good enough. So, like, I think most people, like, they expect the controllers to work.
Yeah, because the controllers are the easy part, actually. I mean, it's not rocket science with the controllers. We already got the 6-degree freedom working really well, I think. That nobody really could complain about the 6-degree freedom tracking. And the same goes for the controllers. It does work, but it occasionally it just glitches out.
This one,
which is
like we, the community, expects Pimax to solve this, right? It's like HTC could do it now, Pico could do it now, Meta has done it now.
I wouldn't say HTC did it properly.
No, now they can do it. In the beginning, no, but now with the Focus 3, it's really good tracking. It works fine.
Yeah.
So I think Pimax, we expect you to do it, but right now you could not show it.
I don't think the controllers we're providing with the Crystal are the main event here anyway, because they're just going to work as controllers. Yeah. We're not doing any spectacular with the controllers. They're just 6-degree freedom controllers with vibration.
So based on the NVIDIA reference design, just like the Quest controllers.
What are the problems? What are the problems right now with the controllers?
The problem was mainly the fact that they are glitching out after a while. You can play with them for a while and it just works. Sometimes you see like there could be some lost tracking at times, so it's not like super smooth when you. Sometimes, I'm not saying any all time, but sometimes it just started to glitch out.
But
do your engineers know why?
They do, and they have some. Throughout this week, we've been traveling.
We got Kevin in the chat. Hi, Kevin.
Hi there.
Throughout this week, we've been traveling. They have sent us like 4 new firmware updates for this, and they're still keep doing. I mean, they're working on it every day and night right now, and they're stressed out, of course, because we really wish to show it with the controllers, because that gives us a lot more games to be able to demo, especially on the VR days upcoming in Rotterdam next week. So, but we're not sure about if that's gonna happen. Although we do have the Steam VR faceplate coming. I mean, the Steam VR tracking faceplate, which will be
important, additional. So people can just use the Index controllers.
Right. We're for sure not going to bundle the Crystal with the base stations and stuff anymore. That was just a hassle. And I don't think people are, the people who do not have Steam VR tracking today, I don't think there's any point for them buying it now. For the Crystal, I think the tracking the headset can do with the inside out is really great, and it's just going to improve from now. I wasn't a big fan of inside out tracking in the past, especially with my old Samsung Odyssey, the first version of VMR. But I really cannot tell any difference, at least from the head tracking. The controller tracking still it needs some more work, but the head tracking is just perfect.
So when is this going to come out?
Well, all I know...
That's always the question.
All I know at this point is that it's probably going to start to ship not earlier than January. It's not going to happen in December. We need to make sure that things are working like this.
It makes sense.
Tobii software has to be implemented. I mean, the firmware.
Right.
The controllers still need probably a month or so. I mean, here's the thing: all the hardware is basically finished on this thing. There are a few things that are going to be refined, like the strap here, which I personally don't like. It's going to be wider on top, because some people may not understand this thing, but this is a rubber.
This is
strap.
for energy, right?
Yeah, this is there are actually wires going through this thing from the battery to the headset. So this thing is not adjustable in any way, and I haven't found a big head enough so that it actually is not long enough. You see what I mean? If you have a small head, then yes, it's going to be a little bit loose, of course, but that's not the thing that straps it on your head. This thing does, on the other hand. This thing is going to be adjustable, and so. I would say, you know, there are some minor details which are still going to be improved, and the housing for the standard speakers are also going to be improved over here. What else? There's some small stuff to be done, but most of the hardware inside of the Crystal, if not all of it, I mean internally, is already done. It's already in there, including the eye tracking. And we have materials for thousands and thousands of units already, so we don't have to wait for the panels to
Okay,
be
so this
shipped.
is not going to be like, oh, we have to wait until 24 or something.
No.
It's like,
No.
yeah, I can tell from how people could use it here.
Yeah.
Right, I could tell.
One limitation we've had on this roadshow so far, and we will have that throughout the roadshow until like mid-December sometime, is the cable itself. We are using right now the 8KX cable.
Okay.
I mean the same cable that is used for 8KX, for the 8K Plus and all those, which has one DisplayPort and 2 USB. We can also use the optical 6-meter cable, which has one USB and one DisplayPort. Now it does work. It does transfer the DisplayPort signal and audio and all, but the only issue is that it did not power the headset enough from the PC.
Okay.
So what we're doing right now, just temporarily on the roadshow, is to run this thing with a custom firmware that takes more power from the battery. To just make sure that the headset stays alive, basically,
Right.
and runs with enough of power, because the Snapdragon processor is running while you're running it in SteamVR.
Yeah.
I mean, in PCVR mode, because it handles the tracking and some other things which are then sent to the PC. So some people might wonder why we're switching batteries in the between sessions
Right.
sometimes, and a battery. Like now when we're running it in PCVR mode, it lasts for like 3, maybe 3.5 hours even, which isn't that bad. I mean, we don't need to switch battery every hour or even less, but it's still not how it's supposed to be done. And in a couple of weeks from now, we'll get the final Crystal dedicated Crystal cable, which is going to be basically look the same, but it's going to allow us to get more power, USB power from the.
Okay.
Give me a second.
So no battery has to be used in PCVR mode.
Okay.
That's the plan. Battery is only for the standalone mode.
You got one guy in here, Pulse. I think you've asked like 30 times by now about a 120-degree field of view shell for the Portal. We're doing the regular view, which is going to have 2 lens options. That's going to be a high PPD lens option for mostly movie viewing and such, if you want to put it on the plane or something and watch a movie. Then we're having a wider field of view. That comes in at like 105, 110 degrees field of view. Pretty similar to what you get with some mainstream headsets now. And then the wide field of view option we're currently planning is the Portal Horizon. Gives you a 140-degree field of view, and I believe that's measured diagonally, so it'd be 120 horizontal. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thanks for that. Before we go on, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. I know you guys in the States.
I'm missing it.
Yeah, right. So
it's my favorite holiday.
I just wanted to let you know, like, great that you are doing this roadshow during Thanksgiving. Cheers. That's why.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all
Happy
of you.
Thanksgiving. We're enjoying like a German adult beverage. Hope that you still have a great time.
Yeah.
You're going to have some German pork knuckle after this.
Oh yeah.
So happy Thanksgiving to Kevin Henderson, by the way.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving,
to all the
Kevin.
people in the States. Glad that you're watching this channel. Cheers.
We're not finished yet, though, so don't leave.
Cheers.
We're still going for
Oh
it.
no. And happy Thanksgiving. I got a shout out to my kid. Landon, love you. Dad's out here working in Germany, even though it might not look like it.
They both have been working really hard, and the whole Pimax team. You're here with 2 more, right? Ing and Dragon. So, you guys have been really like working hard, and it's great that you are so approachable to the community here. Like they all told me like, hey, those guys, they are so nice, and you're so enthusiastic, guys. That's what they told me, and I just want to relay to you. So thanks for doing your best for these shows.
Thanks. We enjoy it really. We've been doing this since 2018.
Yeah,
I mean, that was even before I started to work for Pimax. I was volunteering, did the first backer meetup in Berlin, actually together with VR Berlin, Alex Grob.
Right.
He hosted that first Pimax meetup, and ever since then we just kept going with those meetups, because I think it's a completely different thing doing like a geek meetup like this compared to a normal,
Geek meetup is
it is. That's what it is.
Like honestly, we are
geeks. We're all of us.
We are kind of geeky, I must admit it.
Yeah, I mean, every single person who went to this event today and yesterday, they're kind of the same geeks I am. They just love high-end stuff, high-end VR, and not only
the latest and greatest,
the latest and greatest and great quality, all of that. You can definitely tell that they're not like the first first hands-on experience in VR. All of them has a headset. Some of them have HP reverb. Some of them even have Vario Era, and they want to switch to the Crystal now. It's a lovely way of just gather the community together. We're not only testing the headsets, we're discussing things. We have so much fun together here during those events.
We had a great time,
Yeah, and I think it is unique in the industry. I think I don't think any other company is doing this specifically. No. All of the companies are doing exhibitions like VR Days or CES, but that's not really the same thing.
Yeah,
it's.
You really touch base here with your community, with the people who want these headsets.
Yeah, and also, we're not afraid of showing off our pre-production devices. I mean,
just if I would like unbox it from bubble wrap.
Oh no bubble wrap.
Let's we know how we are as a company, and we know the reputation we have in the industry. Look, we produce some of the highest specified, craziest VR products on the market for a niche audience that we love. I'm a gamer, Martin's a gamer, even Kevin does he's in VR all the time. Okay, and we understand the various issues and difficulties that we've faced in the past. We are constantly trying to improve it. We've added nearly 100 employees to Pimax this year, and we've restructured like 4 or 5 times this year alone. And we're constantly doing. Next year, we're working on expanding our American division. So that's a big project that's currently underway. We understand the various difficulties that have faced us in the past, but we are really focused on improving the user experience, getting better at delivering a stable product right away, and Portal and the Crystal are a big part of that growth for us as a company. So we may have a reputation for a couple of issues, the original Kickstarter, a couple other things, but I would argue if you go to any of our forums and you talk to a lot of our actual users, they'll also tell you we have a reputation for supporting our headsets and continuing to put out updates until they turn into really great, stable experiences.
You did get better, I must say that, but you're not there yet, in my opinion.
Not there yet.
You get better. You did get better, but there's still lots of work to do, especially for the software side.
And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to work.
And I'm glad that you're here. So let's keep on talking about this device. So we talked about now the shortcomings right now, no controllers right now, but the eye tracking was not yet on because of Toby, not your fault. Right, they're still working on it, but other than that, this worked well.
Yeah,
I must say, and the people were trying it, and you're going to get so many videos, so many interviews of actual people, normal people who were using them, and some English, but most of them German. So you can go to my German channel and you can put on auto translate and then watch all these interviews. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Virtual Air Tour just asked a question. Has anyone tried the Crystal compared with the Vario Aero? And that's what we actually did both of these days here.
Actually, that was my Aero.
Yeah, your Sebastian's Vario Aero, like side by side.
Would have been like, what, 48 different people, right?
44.
Yeah.
44, okay.
So all of them tested that. Head to head, basically in Skyrim. We just chose Skyrim VR, like at max resolution and stuff.
Yeah, it was more for the colors. It was not for the textures, obviously, right? It's just like
it was vanilla version of Skyrim, but
yeah,
just to be able to see. I mean, you can easily tell if there were any distortions, chromatic aberration, and stuff like that. If the sharpness is good enough. We didn't even use any anti-aliasing on Skyrim. It was so sharp, it was just impossible to see any pixels or jagged edges.
Yeah, so tell us, what, in your opinion, how did this roadshow go so far? What are the impressions of the people who are using it? And I will tell you my impressions as well, but what are your thoughts? Like, how well did it go so far? What did the people say?
Actually, exactly, I was expecting it to, because I've been playing with this device for months now, and I know what it's capable of, and I know how beautiful it is. I got shocked first time I tried it. I mean, I'm so used to the 8KX.
Right.
I am a Pimax fanboy, call me that. But I use the 8KX as my daily driver until the crystal arrived at my door this summer. I mean, that was at the time when the units started to be really workable. They were just working more stable, so I could actually game on them as well. Before that, it was just like earlier prototypes. And my first reaction, going from the 8KX was just like, wow, mind-blowing. It's okay, the field of view is smaller, but the pixel density, the sharpness, the clarity, and also the local dimming, which makes the blacks basically black, most of the time at least. It's such a big difference. And I think most people here today experienced the same thing as I did. They're like, wow, some people were actually like, wow, this is amazing and this is crazy. We have that on camera. We actually recorded all that. Most of these people I've never, some of these people I've met before, but most of them I haven't. I don't know. Right. Some of them are your Patreons, some other guys
yeah, but most of them are actually like people who just signed up without even being.
We had an open public sign up. Right. Anyone could join this. Yeah, we talked a lot with them afterwards also, and they were super impressed. I mean, they were completely aware of the problems which are still there. Like, the cable was not the crystal cable, so we had to use batteries and all that stuff we already mentioned here. But when it comes to the image quality, when it comes to the panel, like the colors, the black levels, thanks to the local dimming, we actually were able to switch on and off. You can switch on and off the local dimming at any point, like in real time.
Yeah,
and that was like a wow moment.
You've shown it quite a few times.
To every person, of course.
Out of over 44 people who tried it here at MRTV, if we completely ignore the other road shows, we didn't have a single person who said they preferred the Vario Aero to the Crystal. Every single one.
No. I think there was one.
Was there one?
Okay.
I'm wrong.
I may have missed
it. No, there was definitely there was one. Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, we have no. We
cannot.
No. We have to keep it real here. It's not exactly like
that. You can't
that.
Live in my fantasies?
No, cannot.
That's unfortunate.
No.
They're really great.
So no, we have to keep it real here.
The majority of people did prefer the image out of the Crystal, and it was by quite a large margin.
You will see it. You will see the interviews here on the channel, and what they said. So it's really incredible to see what people thought about it.
Yeah.
So
having that said, there are some small adjustments that we are going to need to do to the perspective, the rendering of the image, which a couple of people actually mentioned about. They could see things like there were some, especially people who were using like glasses, and there are some of them who actually saw like some abnormality, like. At close distance, it was like super sharp. At far distance, they were like, it's not really 100% sharp. And then we tried to fiddle around with the IPD and offsets and stuff, and like, now it's better. I think, now it's better. So it's not perfect yet.
Yeah.
But this was just a minority of the people, both here and at VR Berlin. I mean, I'm honest. I'm just saying that
I would not agree with, but let's talk about it in a moment.
Okay. Yeah, you were one of them actually, right?
Yeah, okay, so let's get to my impressions now.
Yeah, sure.
I think, lots of people,
go ahead.
Lots of you have been waiting for this moment for me to give you my impressions. And don't worry, even though they are directly next to me, I will not hold back, right?
We don't expect
put this thing on.
So that is not my style, and I will simply let you know what I think about it. So first of all, I was surprised. I must really give it to you. Like when I first put it on, I thought like, okay, wow, like yeah, like it did look amazing, right? Like the colors are truly, truly good. Like especially the local dimming, it really works. It works on so many levels. Like even if you move your head fast, it's beautiful. So the colors, the blacks are really so close to OLED. It is amazing for this kind of technology. Fantastic, really true. You will enjoy it. The contrast, even if you play like dark games, like horror games, which I don't do. I don't like it. But people who love these games, they will enjoy it because it's really dark.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it really is.
Dark.
It's like
Yeah.
also like when watching like videos or movies, it's wow, it's beautiful. The blacks. So I was smiling. I was like so happy to see that the colors are popping. So this is as close to an OLED panel as it can get for not being an OLED panel.
Right.
And yeah, for that it wins against the Aero like hands down because the Aero does not have local dimming. They could have it, but they didn't implement it. So yes, absolutely. The colors of the crystal are better than the Aero and most of the other headsets I've seen. So this is a win. This is like, okay. And also for the resolution, like, yes. Like, it is like so clear. Like, the resolution is so high, you cannot see an individual pixel.
Yeah.
It is like, okay, we have reached the retina level.
Yeah, basically.
We have reached the thing that I want. Like a couple of years ago, I looked at the G2 and I thought like, yeah, this is it now. But honestly, no. This is now, we have reached it, and we had it already with the Aero. It was also like this, I would say, right? But now we have the better colors, and we have this. It looks like a glossy magazine.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, that's what I also said about the Aero.
Weird. It's almost weird
It's
in the
also
beginning.
it's also what I said about the Aero, and I can also say it about this device. Like when you look at the visuals, it's like a glossy magazine paper.
Yeah.
You cannot see pixels. It's like, but now with blacks that are black.
Yeah.
There
and
was
also the field of view. Don't forget about the field of view.
I just want to get to it. Right?
Yep.
So I just want to get to the field of view. Yeah, it smokes the Aero. Like the Aero is nice, but the vertical FOV is good. Is not good enough compared to this. Like here, the vertical FOV is like, okay, up and down is just like screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, like the shape of the FOV is kind of interesting. The shape of the FOV is not roundish like in most of headsets. It's more like squarish.
Yeah, it's square with more rounded edges.
It's squarish.
Yeah.
Like so,
Yeah.
I'm now totally used to Pico 4, right? This cheap grade headset which I'm using, and it has more like a round field of view.
Yeah.
So it has more like of a squarish field of view, and that's what I saw first, right? Because I'm used to something else, but it's not like a bad thing. So the field of view, in my opinion, is index-like, in my opinion, like for vertical and horizontal. So it feels like index FOV with Aero visuals, but better colors, which kind of is like a winning combination.
Yeah.
Right. So this was all really, really amazing and just what I want. I was really like, okay, yes. Right. But
there's a
I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to tell you that there is a but, and if you fix that but, I will love it. But that but is that there was something off with the lenses. So for me,
that's what you think.
No.
Just kidding. It does not apply to everyone.
I think it does. Like probably they didn't tell you because they were too afraid to tell you guys. Okay. But the thing is, like for me, it felt like. By the way, the lenses are really great. Like this spheric glass lenses, wonderful.
Do you see any distortions?
No, I didn't. That's great. That's also what I want to say. Like, okay, the first Pimax headset, no distortions, and I love that index FOV without distortions. It's great. It's exactly what I wanted. I always wanted Pimax to make a headset that is not super huge FOV, which would give me that index kind of FOV without distortions, and you did. So thank you. But I'm still with the but.
The but is still hanging.
The but, yeah. So The lenses are great, right? Pancake lenses, aspheric lenses. So clear, nice sweet spot, great edge stretch clarity. It's like fantastic. It is without a doubt on the same level like Pico 4 and Quest Pro. Without a doubt, it's beautiful and really good. However, I feel that those lenses, it feels like there's already like a diopter on them. It feels like there's already like some prescription on them, which is not mine. How could I like explain it to people? So I'm short-sighted, right? I have this beautiful glasses on, and it's like a minus 1.5 of a diopter or something. So normally speaking, when I go into a VR headset, when I put on my glasses and then go into a VR headset, everything is perfectly clear. So here with this device, if I go into this headset without my glasses, it is good. It is good. It's still not perfect. I still have to work a bit with my eyes, right, to see everything perfect, and it's okay. But if I use my glasses and then go into it, it doesn't work. Like my eyes have to work like really, really hard to get a great picture, and I could only stand it for like 5 minutes perhaps. So this has solved my eye issue.
Yeah, you don't need glasses anymore.
But I have to live in.
Just keep it on forever.
I have to live in this now.
In other words, his complaint is that the crystal fixes his eye problem.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. That is my complaint.
Guys, standalone was not scrapped. We're doing standalone.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
But let's keep.
Yeah, there's a switch for it actually on the side here. You can switch it on.
So like somebody says like right now, get contact lenses. No, that's the point. Like if I get contact lenses for my eyesight, it will still not be right. It feels like there is already a prescription on those lenses, right? Yeah. So that is my issue, and it's not only my issue. Like many people that I talk with today, especially those who got a bit older, who normally are getting farsighted, they had problems with the accommodation.
Especially the older ones, yes.
Yeah. You know, like you're still young. I
remember
and
at least like 4 or 5
so
of them.
Your eyes are really strong.
Yeah,
I remember. Like me and getting a bit older. Yeah. Like I'm soon 30 years old. So no kidding. Yeah. So but anyways, like this is it. This if you solve this problem.
Yeah.
Wow, I will love it. Right, but right now, like there's no other headset that has these problems, right? So I cannot say like, okay, this is way better than the Aero. Right now, the Aero is better because it doesn't have this accommodation problem. Yeah. So once you fix these lenses and get this diopter off of it, I will recommend this, like hands down. It's amazing. Right. But this is like one problem that you need to fix.
Sure, we're on it. We already have forwarded this information to our engineers.
Yeah, we're aware of it, and we've got already some theories on exactly what might be causing it. Because of the larger fields of view, the larger displays that we use. Some people were asking in the comments, well, why would micro OLEDs be so expensive? Our displays in here are much larger than what are being used in most headsets. The prices go up dramatically with size, especially with advanced techs like micro OLED displays or OLED micro panels. The bigger those get, the more expensive they get. But we're using those large panels. We're not canting them nearly as much as we were in something like the 8KX, but we've already got a lead on what that might be. We've already fed that information. We've been feeding back everyone's experience to our engineers.
This is really, honestly, this is the biggest problem. If you solve this problem, you're going to be good. Even if you just slap on some extra lens inserts, which would kind of correct it, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I just wish I saw this problem.
I know. Yeah, you're young and good looking. You don't need it.
Yeah, I'm older. No, I'm not older than
No.
I'm 40.
You're younger.
You're like, what are you?
43.
I was like 50. No, but really, I wish I saw this because to me, the problem just do not exist.
I wish the Pimax engineers saw it.
Yeah, I hope some of them do at least.
But really, the big majority that I talked to today, they saw it.
Really?
So yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did it. They didn't admit it to you, but they admitted it to me.
Huh.
Yeah, like. Obviously, you are a Pimax team member, and you have your camera on them. Obviously, they will not tell you. Hey, but SweViver, there's something wrong with the accommodation. But for me, like secretly, when we were hidden here, they told me they had the same problem.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we're going to
But
fix.
you know what? It's great.
I'm just saying that it would be so much easier if I could see this problem.
I know. I got it. I totally got it.
I could just ballpark with the
I got
engineers.
But you know what? It's actually great that you have the guts to bring it to MRTV headquarters and to Berlin and to the other places, so you will get this feedback.
We need
and
that feedback.
that you can absolutely you can resolve it right now.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. Right. So
For sure. That's one of the purposes of this.
Right.
I mean, it's not like we're selling headsets today. Like, hey guys, buy this headset.
No, we're I mean, or what?
We do have reservations going on.
We've got reservations going on, and we've got a best best case scenario date that we're aiming for, and then we've got a worst case scenario kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we've already got a range. We have a general idea of when it's going to be out. You guys aren't going to be waiting too much longer, so.
Right. Yeah, but anyways, I must again tell you, like, this headset has so much potential. It is really just fix this thing, and there's no other headset that I'm going to use. Like, I love exactly this FOV, like index style FOV, but with this incredible aero kind of resolution, but with better colors. It's a winning combination. Just fix this lens issue, and we're going to be good. And you're going to sell so many of those. So I'm so glad that you brought this out now, so we can see it. It's real.
Yeah.
Fix this issue, and we're going to be good.
Yeah. We have some new batches coming in
pretty
soon.
It's
in
real.
December.
Yeah.
And
Okay, cool.
we're going to provide you with one as soon as possible.
I actually, in the background, I've heard that you're working on this, and you're going to send me a new unit, and then I will check it out and tell the world about it. So that's going to be really exciting. Yeah. But now, also quickly, before we go and get our pork knuckle, hopefully.
Hopefully, if we. Yeah,
we have to run. Yeah. Anyways, the question about the 12K QLED. Do you have any updates on it? Is it still on the roadmap?
It is on the roadmap. We have a team working on it, but we don't have daily updates about it, especially now since we have so much going on with the crystal and the portal.
Right.
So I would say don't expect it to be out until at earliest April or something. We're going to try to show something at CES.
Okay, cool.
Probably one of the prototypes we have in the house right now, or maybe a newer one, but it still needs some more work.
Okay.
As the presentation you did with Kevin not long ago, basically explains some of the hurdles or some of the difficulties.
Okay, we've got a variety of hurdles when it comes to designing these, but I mean we've pretty much figured out all of the hardware. We've got a few minor things and adjustments that need to happen, and then currently, I mean, we've already got our Chinese sales ongoing with some business-to-business and industrial customers. And they program, they do a lot of their own programming, and they some of them even they run their own run times on them as well.
Next question. Sorry to. Next question is about wireless. So how far is this with wireless?
It's not far away because they have it in debug mode right now in China. Okay. Right now it's a wireless device which you just plug in here, and then you have the receiver on the desktop side.
So it's going to happen.
Yeah,
we heard about the WiGig module for years. But this time it's going to happen.
Here's the thing. They offered to send us the WiGig module for this trip to demonstrate it.
Okay. Yeah.
But then we looked at it, and they hadn't printed the shell yet, and it was still the PCB. So they've got it working, but they haven't molded and turned it into a finished looking product. So we rejected it.
Here's the thing.
We're not showing something with a bare PCB.
Okay,
here's the thing. The first time I tested WiGig with this device was back in January, actually. That was already at CES when I was sitting with COVID at the hotel, stuck for 5 days. I was sitting with this thing, but a very much earlier prototype. And the WiGig was basically working back then.
Okay, all right.
It was still a lower refresh rate, and so there were still bugs. I had to start it through OBD, and all that.
Right.
It was also in standalone mode, but it worked already back then.
Right.
And since then, it's been. I'm talking about January, right? It's almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And there's been loads of updates since then, and
so it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is definitely going to happen. So that's for sure.
Okay.
But I'm not setting a specific date on it. Though.
What about Wi-Fi 6E? Is it going to be something that's going to work out of the box?
I'm less informed about that.
That sounds like a no.
No. I'm just
we've
not
not-
informed about everything.
We've got our main concern right now has been the optics and the PC
Okay.
VR functionality.
It works, but it's being debugged, says Pimax USA. Okay. All right.
I would say Y-gig is
Hey, yeah.
way more.
Listen to
potential
Kevin.
for this.
He's more important at the company than we are. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. I believe that's it. I believe that was a really cool live stream. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys, for joining that fun after
Thank
these
you.
two like very busy and tiring days on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving for you especially, right?
my pumpkin pie.
Okay, we're going to have German adult beverages and
All right.
pork knuckles now, so that hopefully that will make up for it a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for inviting us here,
Oh, yeah,
for
you're
letting
welcome.
us do this event over here at MRTV headquarters.
I think everybody enjoyed it. I really think so. Like,
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it was like, well, people came here. They had, they could check your devices,
Right.
get adult beverages for free. It was good.
It was awesome.
It was.
Really,
It was a
really.
good thing. It was an amazing thing, and I'm happy that we did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to also say thank you to our previous to Alexander Grove.
Right, in Berlin.
Back in Berlin, VR Berlin, the event
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
Alexander
right
was
before.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
we
great
never
guy.
did a live stream from there because we were just so occupied all the time. We were a small team traveling, but really that event was great. And also thank you for all of you that came to that event those 2 days last weekend. Now, don't forget that we have another event already starting this weekend as well, also in Gouda in Netherlands. It's like an hour from Amsterdam. It's at VR Space, the chocolate factory, not far away from the station in Gouda. We're going to hold an event for 2 days. There are still slots available for that event. It's Darius Haydenpori, which is hosting that event. And then VR Days, of course, at the end of this month, starting at November 30, and it's going on for 3
Yes,
days.
RG. MRTV headquarters, happiest place on earth. I believe right now this is the center of the VR planet right now.
It is.
Right now, yes.
We are in the spotlight, I guess.
We are really here now in the happiest.
For better or worse.
Well, we never showed the controller design. There was someone asking for it.
Yeah,
Well, we do have them here, and a lot of people saw them. And
They made pictures. I
They're
can
the
post a picture.
NVIDIA
later.
reference
It's-
design.
It's yeah.
as I said, in Berlin, they were actually playing around with them in the
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx and stuff. But
So
Okay.
the design we use for the controllers is the NVIDIA reference design. It'll be very familiar to anyone who sees it.
that's
so-
Snapdragon, I think Qualcomm.
Guys,
Is it the Qualcomm?
guys,
reference? Sorry,
guys.
the Qualcomm reference
Guys.
design. My mistake.
Pork knuckle, German pork knuckle
Oh, yeah.
now.
Good idea.
Right?
Let's get going.
Let's do it. So.
See y'all later then.
See you all later, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up for this live stream. Thanks to the Pimax guys and the Pimax team. Here are also 2 more from Pimax, Ing and Dragon. I would like to send my best greetings to them. And now we're going to go to the German restaurant and have some beer
Thanks for
and
watching,
some
guys.
stuff.
Thanks
So,
for watching, guys. Go back the Portal Kickstarter.
thumbs up.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
See you
guys.
soon. And